Tonight, I am here with my siblings, Alet Washington, Chelsea Whittington, and my older brother, David Stallman. We are all here and we are part of Doc Stallman's legacy, and we are here just to talk about with you all some of the things that he has taught us along the way. And first of all, we want to say thank you for having us out, Dave.
No problem, Ken. It's good to see you. I'm sorry that I'm not there to be with you all this evening, but I thought it was when we're talking about Black history and we thought about highlighting some of the families, local families in our community who own businesses and stuff, and also not only own the business, but the whole family was a part of the business structure. And then thinking about that, you all's name came across because I remember, the father's service station, doc service station, and then the other businesses that y'all had. And then also, the public service thing that you all have been doing in the community. And not only in terms of the civic contribution, but also the religious contributions. I know that you all members of Trinity Baptist Church and with Ken. I think you what are you, the assistant?
I'm one of the associate ministers there.
Associate ministers, right.
Yes.
Right, and then of course everybody knows Chelsea, and then your sister Alette is an author and businesswoman in her own right and something. And then thinking of that David, the oldest, and then keeping the legacy going on as well. So it's a pleasure to have you all this evening, and we're looking forward to talking about some of the things that you all have been involved in.
Absolutely. Well, we'll start with you. However you want to get going, Dave. It's fine.
Well, first of all, let me ask you something. Didn't you guys used to have a U-Haul business, right?
Yes. Well, Dave, since you guys, we're going to give you a little bit from the beginning. I was just here talking with my dad. My dad arrived here in 1955 from Mississippi. Got married in 1956 and started working construction. And he's here to make sure I get it right, Daddy. I'm just trying to tell you the story a little bit. And then he started working the mill. Fast forward, he worked part-time at the gas station right on 11th Avenue across the street from the Anco wiper blade. And he worked there for a few years. And the gentleman that owned that business, which was a Caucasian guy at the time, my dad worked so well with him, he decided to sell the business to my dad. So our first gas station was located at 1435 West 11th Avenue, directly across the street from the Anco wiper blades when they were in full bloom. While he owned that business for several years, the people of the community, especially the majority of the people that was in the area, did not believe that he owned a gas station. And once they found out it was black owned, he had a lot of troubles that he had to deal with. People throwing bricks in the window, burning rubber on the driveway, but he continued to run a successful business that made his business strong. From 1967 to 1973, we were on 11th Avenue. In 1973, we bought a location and moved to a new location on 2642 West 5th Avenue. We was in that location from 1973 all the way up to 2007. But in 1999, we built a $1.5 million gas station right there with, had a Blimpies, which Arlette ran our Blimpies back then. We had a U-Haul across the street. David was the manager of that. Chelsea was our PR person, and I was the manager of the business. So we stayed in that business up until 2007, and we got out of that business, and we all went into our own entrepreneurial endeavors.
Well, let me ask you, you mentioned about when the first gas station that your father owned, and the pushback from the community, and I'm assuming that it was from the non-African Americans in the community, right?
Yes, yes.
So going forward, as you guys continued in your business and stuff, how was the atmosphere as you guys continued on?
The atmosphere as we continued on Fifth Avenue or on 11th Avenue?
Well, from 11th Avenue until you guys moved on to Fifth Avenue.
Well, It wasn't too bad. I'm gonna tell you why. Because during that time, there was a plethora of businessmen that decided to come together. I can't name all of them. There was Mr. Lyles that had his business. There was a gentleman by the name of Jasper Wembley. They created the Midtown Businessmen Association. So they found out that they needed to work together and pool together as one of the strongest business organizations at that particular time. And he was also a member of the Taliman Businessmen Association. So back during that time, it was just key that black businessmen would get together and pool their money together and help the whole community as a whole. So that began to slowly fizzle out after they stayed together.
You know, as you all started on your gas station on Fifth Avenue, as a matter of fact, it was great business, and especially the restaurant and the blenders that you all had in there, and they were equal to Subway, if not better. What were some of what are some of the problems that you all encountered in running that business?
Well, some of the challenges we had were competition with the new businesses from abroad. I would say we have some different nationalities will come in and open the same type business, but they would not. Very seldom did you see, especially during that time, did they hire any local people? Did they do any collaborations with the school? We tried to do a lot of those different things. We got a lot of pushback from the community saying our gas prices might have been a penny or two higher than others, but we had, first of all, we had a bank in there, we had a business in there, we had a car wash, we had everything that you would get in any other surrounding community. And we had a great deal of people in our community that supported us, but we had a little pushback then. But all in all, it was good. It was a successful venture for us, and it allowed us to springboard into our own career. So kudos to Doc, to whom which we're here, because his challenges were the challenges that we had to deal with that we didn't even know while we were just growing up. He did some things that after we got older, we found out that was just amazing.
Well, you mentioned about people talking and complaining about the gas prices might have been a little higher than others. You know, where your gas station was located was in a very stable community. And actually, you know, as years went by, you know, it became a totally African American dominated community and stuff. And theoretically, we would think that would lead the men to support. Am I mistaken that you know that support wasn't there?
It was there, but it wasn't there at the level in which we needed it to be there. You know, it was just a big challenge for us, but we made it through what we made it through. And when we look back at it, it happened because it was supposed to happen, and it helped us to learn and grow. Just to give you a little bit more history, for those who remember, on that place where we built that gas station was a Wise Way grocery store and the Q Drugs for many, many years. And when the fire caught a fire there in the fire station down the street, 1 block away, grocery store burned to the ground, but we were able to purchase that piece of property. And he sat on it for a while. My dad bought the piece of property. He's always an advocate about you're not going to buy any more land, that if you can find something that's adjacent to your house or your business to be able to control those that are coming around you. Those are the things that he taught us back then that we didn't really understand how powerful it would be today.
Yeah. You know, and another thing, you know, I always wondered, because you guys have such a great product, and you know, anybody who supported you all would attest to that. And you know, and this is, of course, it's just me speaking. You know, it would seem like to me, you know, not only the community, but the you know the business finance community, banks, and also the city government would have rallied behind, this effort, because number one, what it did was it helped to stabilize the neighborhood. Having that kind of business there, you would think that that people feel that makes good sense to support them and all, and in any way that we could.
Well, David, we had community support and we had governmental support. We got a grant from the city. We got several of the vehicles that was getting fuel there. But when you have a gasoline of that magnitude, it takes a lot of people and a lot of people. But one thing I would like to add, even prior to us building that gas station, well, they always joke about my dad calling him Doc, because where he really was his bread, he's a mechanic by trade. He could work on cars, people would come and leave their cars, and what he prided himself on was good customer service, that if I tell you something, he was a man of his word. If I can do it, I will do it. If I cannot do it, I cannot do it, and I'll tell you where to go get it done. That's what made his business last as long as it did, because he was a man of his word, and that was something that he also taught us about. Let your yays be your yays and your nays be your nays. And when you're dealing with the public, be straight up with them. And that's something that we've always carried. We've always tried to run a business where we were honest with people, upfront with people, and we tried to carry that on in our daily lives as well as running our business too.
Okay, so now after you close that chapter, you guys go your own separate ways. Well, not in terms of like
Never.
Of your career endeavors, right?
Yes, we all have our own little businesses. Our brother David, he's been in his business for almost 30 years. He's a Lakeshore Distribution. He's a Kirby distributor for Kirby cleaning systems and vacuums. Of course, Arlette, she's had Never Too Young and Good Character Matters, which I'm wearing one of her sweatshirts right now. Good Character Matters. I do a little consulting myself for new businesses that are interested in coming into the Gary area, and also Chelsea and her PR company. So we'll just take snippets of what our dad taught us and bring it all together and keep businesses in Gary. We made the choice to come back where a lot of other people decided to go elsewhere. We decided to come back and wait for the change, and it's pretty obviously that the change is happening as we speak.
So no.
And so the other day, you guys had a program at the Kennedy Library. You're the manager of the Kennedy Library?
Yes, I'm the branch manager of John F. Kennedy branch.
Right. And I noticed that you had the sweatshirt you were wearing that day. Was that one of Arlette's sweatshirts? Yes, I'm an official model for her clothing wear. So there's going to be a lot of times you will see me with her gear on. Good Character Matters, Black History, I Am Black History. We just try to just promote, more than anything, Dave, I just want to make sure we are a positive family. Mm-hmm. We have been through a lot of different things, but we never share what we go through. We have a monthly meeting among ourselves. We talk about positive things that we need to do, things that are happening in our lives that we feel as though we can help one another. And then when we help one another, we can help the community. So that's why we love this place so much. And also, in addition to what you're doing now, you served a stint on the Gary School Board from second district for a while, right?
Yeah, I did that day, but I want to talk about my dad today. Yeah, I served on the school board. I enjoyed serving on the school board from 2008 to 2012. But just about every meeting I had at the school board, I found myself running over to my daddy's house, telling him what was going on and some of the things that I was experiencing. So he has been my confidant for the last so many years. And I'm just thanking God that he's still here with us for 93 years. And we've been blessed, and we do not take it lightly at all.
Well, that's good. So I'm assuming that Chelsea is operating the camera, right?
Yes, she is.
You must be seeing it. Chelsea's operating the camera, but I also have my brother David is here. We all are here. When
Dave want to say anything?
He can come on
Yes,
up.
we gonna swap
We
them
gonna
out.
swap him around?
Yeah.
No, he can sit.
He can sit
Okay.
here.
Come on, and I'll let our pull you a
You
chair.
got a question, Dr. Moses? You know,
Did you have any questions? But I got to tell about Dr. Mosley. She's been part of our lives too. She had all of my kids, my oldest one down to my youngest one. So I know her very well, and she was just great in our family. Come on, Saleh. Come on. Yeah, we're the
Stay right here, Daddy.
Yeah.
Stay right here.
I guess these are only 2 live mics.
Yeah, y'all
This
just
is
speak
not live.
directly into it. Yeah.
Not live. I'll let his daddy can handle that with me and David speak right direct.
Hey everybody, we're in commercial break right now. We're on commercial. We're in a commercial break. And we are at WLTH 115 West 5th Avenue in Gary, Indiana, 1370 AM, 92.7 FM. And it's Black History Month. We're closing out with the one and only Doc Stalin. We're paying tribute to him that's 93 years young. We have Alette, Ken, and David, and me. I'm here too, running the camera. I hope you all will share this video. This is Black History Real Time. We want to thank David Denson for this opportunity. Dave is on the line. He's doing the interviewing. And when we come back to the next segment, we have David coming up to talk about his experiences with Daddy. And then we have Alette. And then we're going to bring it home with the baby. That's me. Right, Daddy? I'm your baby? He don't say yeah. How you been feeling? Good. Thank you for having us. So y'all, this is what 93 looks like. He still works out. He got 2 places. He goes to the YWCA of Northwest Indiana, and now he's back at the hood, the Hudson and Campbell. And so that's another thing that he has instilled in us: hard work, longevity, and taking care of our bodies and being fit. Right, Daddy? That's it? All right. I can't wait to share this video with all of our family. Shout out to our family in Mississippi, Michigan, Chicago. We're all over. And this is history. This is legacy. And this is blood. I love them forever. We should be coming back shortly. And we invite you to always listen to WLTH 1370 AM. They have great programming throughout the day. And especially right now as we celebrate Black History Month. We also invite you to advertise in your small businesses on 1370. It's a good thing. It really helps get the word out. So shout out to Marion Williams, Natalie Ammons, and the whole leadership team here at WLTH for affording us these opportunities. Now tuning on to our live is none other than Mr. John McLeod. That's why we love Gary so much. That's our 5th grade math teacher from Ernie Pyle Elementary, Red Devils. Yes. Hey, Mr. McLeod. Look who's on the camera, Mr. McLeod. There's Daddy, Doc Stalin. Made sure we were in class getting our lesson out every day. It's a few more. Hey, Uncle David. Mr. Bullock, come on in. Mr. Bullock came in to greet Papa. Yes, were you listening to the show? You been listening to the show? Hey, Uncle David. Good to see you. And that's another thing. That's how Gary is. Everybody knows everybody. Stop by the radio station to say hello.
My mom used to tell me about Mississippi and you know our family down there. Yeah. All right.
Thank you for stopping by. Can you stand over there? I'm going to take a picture with you. And
Yeah, so I can send it to Anya.
okay. And thank you. Ready? There we go. 1, 2, 3. Got it. I'll send it to you too, Uncle David. Yes, the whole family. And see, that's just what Gary is like. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're still on commercial break. For you, if you're just jumping on the live, we're at WLTH 1370 AM. I'm gonna jump over there with them in a second, but I'm having fun behind the camera because Daddy just a smiling. Look at you, Daddy. He looks good. Now I'm gonna come right there and I'm gonna just leave it on a still shot, and we're gonna have some fun talking about how they got in trouble. I didn't because I was the baby. And by the time I came along, I was kind of just, yeah, free falling. Hey, Sheila Shine. Hey, Amber. We're coming back live in less than 30 seconds. If you're just tuning in, welcome to this broadcast. WLTH is Black History Month, and we are featuring the one, the only, the legendary Doc Stallin, retired entrepreneur, mechanic, and just all-around community pillar. Here we go.
Where you going?
I'll go back.
No, I'm gonna get it.
Oh, okay.
3, 2.
Welcome back to Issues and Answers. We're here with the Stalling family, and they're telling us about how they got in business and what the future business is going to hold up for them. Here we go.
Okay. I want to ask David, being an older brother, what were some of the pluses and minuses of being in that role?
Well, one of the minuses was in the beginning of the gas station in '67, I didn't watch cartoons on Saturday morning because I had to go open up the station and work. Hindsight is it taught me that work didn't hurt and gave me, well, my friends was hustling for money. I had a job to go to. And in that time, we were doing customer service. Can I get $3 of gas? And I say, yes. Can I check your oil and clean your windshield and put air in your tires and put gas in the car for $3? Now $3 won't even get you a gallon of gas. But at that time, it humbled us to go out and greet the public and say, how you doing? Can I help you? And that was part of our DNA as part of growing up, that we were just servants and stewards.
So that developing that knack for customer service probably helped you also in your other endeavors, right?
Well, absolutely. Throughout life and all my businesses endeavors and just dealing with the public and how to recognize good and bad and ugly. And just being approaching people as opposed to waiting back to coming to us, being in the gas station business, being around my dad, seeing how he was and how he treated people and how he responded to adversity, because there was a lot of adversities back in '67, '68 when we opened the gas station on 11th Avenue. And like my brother mentioned, a lot of people didn't realize that a black man owned the gas station at the time. And when they found out, we had people like, we can't support you because of that. But then again, he continued to do what he had to do to provide a living for his family and interact with and Gary in '60, because Hatcher just got elected mayor when he started business in '68. And Roosevelt went downstate and won state.
Sure did, Roosevelt.
So
Not what we're here to talk about today.
and a lot of things were changing in the community at that time. In the '68, Hatcher became mayor. I'm sorry, former Mayor Hatcher became mayor, and businesses were flourishing, and Black Gary was prosperous. And all we saw downtown was businesses. When Hatcher came in, a shift came, but the black community with my dad and everything shifted with it also.
Okay. And so you guys, the benefits of some of that change, I imagine, right?
Oh, absolutely. We saw the change, but we were part of the change too. Being examples.
Right. And so did that new sense of black pride that was exhibited after the Hatcher election, did it translate into more business for you all?
Oh, yes, it did, and it translated opportunity for people to see us in business and want to do it in business for themselves. If we could do it, they could do it also.
Okay. And I'll let the great author and this all-around businesswoman, how did you get your start? Because you're an English teacher, right?
Yes, I'm an English teacher. I'm a 6th grade English teacher. Yes.
Okay, and how do you get? Well, I mean, I guess it comes natural. Your entrepreneurial spirit comes natural because from your family. But how did you? When did you get started on your journey?
Well, it started in the 80s when I was at Roosevelt High School. I would sell candy out of my book bag you know, back then we were taking prom pictures, getting rings. It was just so many expenses going on. And at a young age, I realized that my dad had, he had to pay the station bills. He had to pay the house bills. So that was 2 NIPSCO, 2 waters, sanitation bill. My brother Ken was in college, and David was away. So I started hustling for myself, and by 10:30, 11 o'clock, I had half my classmates' lunch money. They were hungry, and so it had gone from there. I've always had that spirit, and I like to provide services and things that make people happy. A lot of people didn't know while I was working at the gas station, I had completed the required courses to become a secondary English language arts teacher, and I taught 2 years. But when my brother Ken said, "Come on, let's do this," I put that down, and I left the school and I went to work at the new gas station for them. At the same time, I was able to I opened up 3 home daycares and aftercare program in the Terrytown area. So I ran the Blimpies for them, and I had Concrete Beginnings Child Care going afloat as well.
Oh boy, you had a lot of irons in the fire. So now, are you still teaching, or are you just dealing with your businesses now?
Well, actually, I teach at Gary Middle School, the former Kennedy King. I've been at that location for the last 3 years. I love doing it, and I also work as a director of the youth at the Gary YWCA.
Okay, and you authored 2 books. Let's give a little big rundown on those.
Okay, the first book I co-authored with my husband called Never Too Young, My Grenada, Mississippi Story. You all can purchase that on Amazon or inbox me under Chester and Arlette Washington book on Facebook. And that's a book about my husband between 1968 through 66 through 68 during the civil rights movement in Grenada, Mississippi, and how it impacted his life as an 11-year-old child. So it's a reading workbook. Since he was fighting to integrate schools and he even got arrested at that young age, I thought it was befitting to add an educational lesson behind each chapter. And the second book, Good Character Matters, derived during the pandemic. I realized when we got back in person with students, a lot of them had lost a lot of good character qualities. So I created a poetic form of 3 short stories for kids between the ages of 5 through 10, or even adults to read, to enhance their ways of being kinder, being a better helper, or spreading joy.
Okay, that's all right. Chelsea, what don't we know about you?
I am not a spoiled brat. They're over here in the peanut gallery over here. Well, you know what, David? It's probably, I'm an open book on Facebook as part of my company for CWIT PR, but to piggyback off of what my brother Ken said, we do rejoice in positivity. You won't see us sharing or living a life of negativity. We want people to know first how amazing our city is. We all love and live in Gary. And then how important family is. And so if you follow me, you know on Sundays we do the church flow post where where I post pictures of us in worship, and everybody wants to see a picture of Daddy. They want to see, just to see how he's doing and what 93 looks like. And it's a blessing to be able to do that. And it's also a blessing to have been able to sit at the feet of an amazing entrepreneur who overcame any type of adversity, racism, or naysayers to keep a business afloat, keeping multiple children in college, and sustaining other extended family members, and never complaining, being an amazing husband, uncle, father, community leader. He sponsored many who are listening, your baseball teams when you were children. In the bitty basketball teams And so he recognized the importance of community, and he poured that into us. And now we pour that into our offsprings, the children, nieces, and nephews. They have the entrepreneurial spirit, and they also know about the importance of community and loving Gary, Indiana.
So when you graduated from what you were at Howard, right?
HU, yes.
There we go. Your first job was where?
My first job out of Howard was at the John Will Anderson Boys and Girls Club as the journalism program coordinator. I had worked there in the summers under the tutelage of Marcus Martin, and they invited me back. They said, when you graduate, you have a job waiting for you. And so I most appreciated that, and I am still working with Mr. Marcus Martin to this day in other endeavors.
Yeah, I know, because I know that you featured them quite a bit in what they're doing with their church and stuff.
With the homeless, Grace Beyond Borders, and those tackling drug issues.
Right, that's true. But now, did you ever work for United Way?
I did. That's actually how I parlayed over to United Way, because the Boys and Girls Club was an agency supported by United Way. And when there became an opening for Director of Marketing and Communications, they offered me to apply. And Mr. Martin was one of my biggest supporters. He and Eddie Trail wrote letters of recommendation for me to Lou Martinez. And I actually stayed there 5 years, from 95 to 2000. And I really always say that was the job that really showed me that I wanted to be in communications and public relations. I got the opportunity to work with other nonprofits, lots of CEOs and bank presidents. And it was a very great opportunity, and it was rare because I was only 23 at the time, but I was in rooms with individuals who were making decisions, and I decided that I wanted my career to take that same type of path.
Okay. One thing that you all have shared this evening is your love for your father, and what it means to you and not only to you but to this community. Mm-hmm. Going forward, what advice would you offer to families that are like you all, in terms of the number of siblings, or just when they have one or two brothers and sisters and stuff?
Start with the oldest.
We'll go down the road starting with the oldest.
We're going to go down the road starting with the oldest. That would be David.
Well, I would say first and most all, communicate. Let everyone know where we stand with each other, and if you keep the lines of communication open, and just know that nothing can go on that we can't get through. So once we establish that, everything else should take care of itself.
Almost, this is Ken the second. Almost want to ditto one thing that Dad always said, that despite how challenging life will be, you have to communicate. That's the thing. He would tell us that today. Whether it's good or bad, you got to communicate so that we can fix whatever it is that's challenging. And so before my mom passed away, she made us make a promise to each other that we would never let finances or anything come between us to break the family up. More than anything, what matters is our good health, our communication with one another, and being there for each other. And so before you even try to start talking about a business, you must focus on just being positive, being able to find positive in everything. It's so easy for us to find negative in things, but it takes a little work to find something positive. And we are a family that, we have our challenges, but we always try to look for the positive within ourselves and even with the people that we deal with and serve. So I would say communication and a positive attitude. Miss Arlette Washington.
Okay, what I would take away from my dear father, Doc Stalling, before I would ever go into any type of business, he would always say, be ready when they come. So thus meaning, have your homework done on any type of endeavors you go into, because you get that one shot when people come to give them what you have to offer. So you want repeated customers. You want your name out there well. You get that one shot. So he would always say, be ready. And one other thing he would always say, me today, you tomorrow.
Yes.
So don't glorify on people's shortcomings. And with that being said, I'll pass that on to Chelsea.
Thank you, sis. Daddy also said, rainy days are coming. He said, you might be on top of the mountain right now, but save for those rainy days and be prepared for those low times. Because I was younger when things like recessions came around and they were talking about the Reagan years. I didn't know what that meant, but
WLTH.
I remember, Daddy, remember when your accountant told you to take your kids out of college when they were trying to balance the budget, and she was like, here's a thought, take your kids out of college. And he was like, no way, I will never do that. And so that in itself shows how well he had that emphasis on education. But to answer your question, David, about the advice to give those who are family members, siblings, I echo the sentiments of my siblings. Stick together. These are my best friends. These are my ride or dies. Don't go days without talking to your sisters and brothers. They're your first best friends. Even when you live somewhere else, there's no excuse now. There's Facebook, FaceTime, texting, email, phone, letter, courier pigeon. I mean, there's a way for you to stay in touch with family and not just get together when it's time to, we have a problem. Oh, there's a funeral. Oh, somebody's sick. And so when we think about taking care of Daddy, it's a collective effort. It's not going to be like, no, it's you. No, it's you. No, it's us. So for any families who are listening, stick together. That's how God wants us to be anyway. That's all, David.
I think we have a call.
We got to put our headphones on?
No.
Oh, okay.
We got a call?
Yes.
Hey, good evening to Doc and the family. This is Bullock, David Bullock.
Hey, Mr. Bullock.
Hey, I just left there, and Doc looked very well for his age. My question, I have a couple of questions. What made Doc leave Mississippi? And also, were any of you guys born in Mississippi? And my last question, maybe Doc, I know Doc at his age might not remember, but maybe he's explained some of those to you guys. And also my last question would be, when Doc came to Gary, he started a business, whereas my father and relatives came to Gary, they went to work in the mill and construction and different work. What made that happen? God bless you guys. I'm going to hang up and listen to this man.
God bless you, Mr. Bullock.
Well, Doc was on his way to California after he left the war in Korea, and he was going to visit Gary, go to Detroit, and go to California. But unfortunately, he had a car accident in Gary and ended up selling here and never made it to California. And then he ended up getting a job at a steel mill and said, why go to California on a maybe when I got a job in Gary as a sure thing. And he sent for my mom in '56. They got married, and I never got a chance to see California.
And none of us were born in Mississippi.
None of us was born in Mississippi, and David kind of explained it that he did work in the mill, but he had that entrepreneurial spirit. And when he got out of when he got out of the army, he always tell us that when we went back to Mississippi, my grandfather had a major farm. Both of my grandfathers on my mom and dad's side had major farms, and they had cattle. But when he got out of the service, the government wasn't giving black farmer loans, and he wasn't able to enhance his father's business at that particular time. So he just packed up like David was on his way to California. But the entrepreneurial spirit was always there because he realized that, and I can say this now, he used to work in the mill. He said there would be times when he would work 6 hours. He would work 2 hours and sleep 6 hours on the job. So he said, I know this is not going to last. I'm going to find me an entrepreneurial way. And he went on to start working part-time. He was a mechanic. He had a tow truck. He had a dump truck with people. He just did a lot of different things. All dirt. He was at, all in Clown Point. He just did so many different things. You almost had to sit down and talk to him, Dave, because he has so many stories that was some was just, you know, funny, but some was really, really, he was going through some things that we had no idea that he was going through while we were growing up. I think that may have answered your questions, Bullock. Okay. All right.
Dr. Mosley, you have any questions? You want?
She's coming on over to the mic now, Dave.
I was gonna ask you, did you, how would the city government help you, small businesses, in retaining their business? Because many businesses are closed. How would city government help you? Or help small businesses start businesses or continue with their businesses?
Well, you mean just ours or just businesses in general?
Businesses in general.
I would have to go back to what my sister Alette said, my dad said, being prepared. Because oftentimes when I had my grandiose ideals and I would say, well, Dad, we need this marketing plan, we need to invite these people. He said, wait a minute, Ken. You have to be ready when they come. You do all this advertising, get all these people coming into your business, and you can't handle them. And that takes that knocks your business down. So to answer your question, we need support, but the owners of the business really have to do their homework to make sure, first of all, is this the area in which they should open that business? Because a lot of times people open up business because they think it's a good idea and haven't done the research. We had to do statistics to get how many traffic came down Fifth Avenue, all those played into it. So to answer your question, Doctor, it would be doing your homework and then sharing with the city what it is that you're trying to do. And then you can see what, you know, if that was something they can do. They have small business loans, they got training, and I would also suggest that anybody going into a new business, get the proper training. Don't just go out there thinking you can do it on your own. Even if you had to get training in accounting, how to keep books, if you had to train in human resource, how to choose good people and keep them, which means how to treat and be positive. We have a whole lot of employees that even when my dad goes out in the public, they run up to him, thanks, Doc, for giving me a job. Thanks for giving them a job. And a lot of them have spurred on to their own businesses as a result of how he ran his business, being honest and positive with people up front. We just can't say that enough, how positive and honest we want to be. We've been members of Trinity. He's been in Trinity since 1956 when they came here. We was born and raised in that church. And faith is first in our, we believe in our faith. Yep.
I just wanted to add on, Dr. Mosley.
Okay.
Regarding the small business piece, I'll just fast forward to now. A lot more resources are available now for the small businesses that I'm so glad to see, whether it be from the city side, the university side. There are a lot of like incubator programs, and we're trying to mimic what Daddy's time did with the Tollyman business and the other business, the Midtown businessmen, and it was more so men dominated at the time. But now, as you know, we have a lot of female business owners and men business owners, and so we network. We talk about access to capital. We teach courses, helping them to get their BWE, MBE certifications. The city of Gary is coming out with lots of different grant programs, and so I guess it's a sign of the times as the city turns around. Some of the things I really wish we had back in the day that were available, but we made it the best way we knew how with the resources. Of course, there wasn't internet and that type of advertising, so now we have a lot more opportunities. So we're taking the old school that Daddy gave us and using a new school, mixing it all together to start building the business community back up here in Gary.
Okay, okay, we got another call, I believe.
Okay.
Caller, you on the air.
Okay. Yeah, I had a question, I guess, kind of like a statement also. About a week and a half ago on the Drive to Five, we were talking about black businesses in the city of Gary, and because of the appearance and the lack of businesses, then it was assumed that it was because of a lack of effort on our behalf. But Doc Stallings tells a story, because I think he was probably the last gas station that operated in this town. And he tells a story about systemically our people being like phased out in the areas of along the areas of gas stations, and as much that now there's not one black-owned gas station in the city of Gary. I wonder if you guys could kind of elaborate on that a little bit. That it was not, not as it appeared that we're lazy or shiftless or never making an effort to do things on our own. But this city was kind of like targeted economically, and actuality not to succeed.
Well, what I'll say to that is that you were absolutely right about some of it is systemic. The system is designed at a particular time for, you don't hear about too many African Americans owning gas stations, not just in Gary, anywhere. They've made I would say the playing field has not been so level. We have, and I won't get too deep into this, we have different foreigners that come in, and some of them operate pretty decent businesses, but some of them don't. And sometimes I think the business that we're in taught us that we are so hard on each other at times that we allow other people other business to get away with things. And I just give you a simple example. Miss Alette, my sister, was our Blimpies manager, and she would make sandwiches, and the sandwiches had to be weighed. So a lot of people thought she should eyeball the amount of meat she put on her sandwich. So when she didn't give them what they wanted, I'm never coming in this place again. So I'm just going to ask anybody listening, have you ever been to McDonald's and got some cold fries?
Still went back.
Still went back. That's my point. My point is we so hard on one another. But to answer your question, it's just a business that we saw that it was time for us to matriculate out of, that we found that we saw what was happening in the oil industry as a whole. And see, you have some nationalities that own it from the well to the pump. So you can't fight with that. And as my dad has always taught us, he was a shrewd businessman. You got to know when to fold. You got to know when it's time to get up out of here, and don't let yourself continue to drown. So we made had a good opportunity to get out of there. He spent from 1967 to 2007 in the business for 40 years that took care of his family, and I think that's just worth an applause. I love him for that, and he continues to be our confidant.
Thanks for that question.
Thanks for the question, caller.
Right. Yeah, but I just say, that's because what they were saying, they were faulting you guys for not taking,
Might have lost.
He dropped the call.
May have dropped.
Oh.
He's gone.
He was still talking.
Okay, he's gone. But thank you for the comment, Carl. You're absolutely right. And we all have taken that as a positive and grown from that. You learn and you keep moving on. But we learned quite a few things that allow us to make our business even more tighter and streamline and run them much, much better. So it was all good experiences for us.
Did you have problems with robbery when you were in business? Because they always highlight robberies, especially in California, where they're breaking into stores, and in Chicago they're breaking into jewelry stores. And that discouraged people into going to business because they're getting they assume that they're going to be robbed by black people.
Well, we didn't have much. Our biggest issue would be after we were closed, people would come by, maybe throw a brick in the window or something like that, but just coming in, stick them up, give them what you got. Because, and I'm going to tell you, you have to, in a business, any business you're in, you have to have good customer service. Good customer service will sometimes thwart a little bit of that out of the way, because people just say, I'm not going to do it that way. Because these people have really tried to run a good business. They hire people from the neighborhood. Some of the people from the neighborhood work there, so if we had any issues, we kind of know. So if you're going to run a business, especially a business like that, you have to know the community in which you're dealing with. You just can't, I couldn't go out in Crown Point or Hope and just open up a gas station and expect for it to go smoothly. This was over a period of years. We built relationships with, my dad had customers just all over the city of Gary. He was a man of his word, and with that being, that kind of kept the the criminals away. Not to say all the way, but they protected him. They would really protect him. So.
Okay, let's take another call.
Hey, caller, you on the air.
Okay, thank you. This is Coach speaking.
Hey,
Hey,
Coach.
It's Coach Big.
Coach Picky,
You're on the
Daddy.
phone.
Hey, David, you didn't even mention that you ran track for me at Horse
That was my glory days. Thank you, Coach Biggie. Yeah, you got me at 5 o'clock in the morning, had me out on the track.
Yeah, that's right, for sure. I used to get him up early. I go pick him up. And his sister and I went to the same university in North Carolina,
St. Augustine University, yes.
St. Augustine.
And the other sister went to Howard University.
HU?
The girls went to HBCUs and the boys went to white schools.
Wow. You got a
Yes,
whole
I believe
pedigree.
you were graduating that year I was born.
You ought to be ashamed.
But,
Thanks for calling, Coach.
Coach, you was a good. Coach Piggy was a great. He not only was he a good teacher and administrator, mentor. He was also a good customer. He would support.
Yes.
He would not only support our business.
That's right. I live up in there.
Right, and then he would tell a lot of good people. So it's people like you, Coach Piggy, that really made us stay in our business. We had that horseman community, and thank you. Just thank you. We thank you.
Yeah, we lived down there at that, where she was making them sandwiches. The
still make
horseman people, the staff, I used to have to go down there and get sandwiches for them. They loved it.
Yes.
We thought that was a good, having that filling station in this area right down the street from me. I live on 6th, and the filling station was on 5th. So I just thought it was great.
It was.
And
Yes.
I went down there sometime and I had to get a U-Haul or something. That's where I went, right to the stone.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you for your support, Coach.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling.
And Chelsea, that's my girl.
You my guy.
All right.
But I really appreciated the Stones. And their father, and I remember the mom before she passed too.
Yeah.
They were fantastic parents.
Thank you.
Fantastic parents.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Call you tomorrow.
We're wrapping it up.
She wrapping it up.
We're gonna go to break right now. So stay with us.
Okay.
Chelsea, put your water in the shot.
I hope you all are enjoying. Everybody's still watching. We are on 1370 WLTH. The conversation is going well, and if you all want to call in, I believe the number is 885-1371. 219-885-1371. Call in, give your memories of Doc Stalling and Doc's Mobile. I ran into a customer today who was asking about you. I forget her name, but she had a bunch of beautiful children. Charles and, oh my goodness, there was a whole bunch of them. She would come in with all of her.
Rita.
Yes, Rita. I saw her today, and she asked about Daddy, and she said she has great-grandchildren now. Yeah. Walter, Charles. They had a daughter with the pretty long hair.
Kristen.
Yes, Kristen. Yes.
She was a paramedic.
Yes. And so I saw her today, and she asked about Daddy and what he was up to, and I told her, you working out, working in the church, and traveling and enjoying your grandbabies and all of that. So everybody just hang tight with us. We are on commercial break. We're going to come back. I think we're wrapping up at 7:30 and having our final remarks. But this is fun. We need a show. How about that, y'all? A reality? No, we don't need a reality show. Never mind. Y'all stay off my street. But no, we were excited about getting this opportunity in celebration of Black History Month. We are talking about the life and legacy of Doc Stalling. And the good thing about this is that we are giving him his flowers now. We're not talking about him in past tense. We're talking about him right now, and he's sitting here listening. And so we're glad that you're joining this discussion. And I also ask that you share this video. And I'm going to get back in my space because these commercials should be over momentarily. But I'll let real quick, where can they get that merch that Ken and Daddy are rocking?
Okay, if you go to my Facebook page, Alette Washington, you will see my merch. You also can go on Chester and Alette book page, you will see my merch. Or you can go to my website, gcmatters.com. That stands for Good Character Matters.
Okay. I too am an official model for all of the merch that you wear. And yes, Karen, this is a blessing. She said, what a blessing. Karen Height Spence is watching. And you all still have time to get some of your Black History merch. I know my sister, she'll be having a whole new line of things coming out that we can purchase. And if you can't find my sister, inbox me on this page and I'll get you to her. I know where she is. I can find her. Shout out to all the family members who are watching from Texas and Indianapolis. I just know you all are watching, and right here in Gary as well. We love you, and I'm going to go back over here so we can close out the show.
Recognized with many awards, including Valparaiso University's Andrew Schultz Award, Honorary Doctor of Laws from Indiana University, Sagamore of the Wabash, Mary White Ovington Award, and the Gary Frontiers Drum Major. Gilbert Bradley is to be remembered. Thank you. A moment in Black history. From Gary, Indiana, Dr. Deborah
Well, a lot of
McCullough.
after-school
She is the first
programs have adopted
African-American
it,
female to
and
graduate
I
from
have
Indiana
taken
University
excerpts
School of
from it
Medicine.
at times.
She serves on IU School of Medicine
especially
Alumni Association
social
Board of
studies.
Directors.
I pull
Dr.
it out a
McCullough
lot.
is
Matter
an
of fact, that's ironic
obstetrician
that you asked that
and
because
a
I had
gynecologist
that
with over
on the
40
deal
years
board
of experience.
yesterday,
Dr. McCullough
showing the
was the
kids how to
first
do
Black
an
female
evaluation
to
of a
complete
book, and I
an
used
OB
that one.
and GYN
One of mine.
residency
Perfect.
at
How did
Cook
they
County
respond?
Hospital in Illinois.
I still
and to
didn't tell them
establish a
it was
private
actually
practice
me.
in Northwest Indiana.
But
Dr. McCullough's
I
commitment
normally
to
tell the
community
kids
needs is
towards the
unwavering.
end of the year that I'm
Promoting
an author.
self-confidence
9
in
times
young
out of 10, their
women
parent
is her thing.
has looked
Receiving
me up
numerous
anyways on
humanitarian
Facebook or
awards,
things of
in
that nature.
2019,
I like them to stay focused
received
on the
Indiana's
intent of the lesson. But if it's a kid that I see
Bicentennial Medal
has a special
in
talent for
recognition of
writing and
distinguished
really interested in it,
contributions
then I'll
and
go into
dedicated
depth.
service.
I'm an
This
author.
Black
I did
History
this,
Moment
that,
brought to you
and
by
encourage
Seal
them. But I
Wine,
try not to
Boots
make
Mobile
myself a
Wireless,
star
1017
in the class.
Broadway,
I want
Gary,
to be
Indiana,
the teacher.
881
You know.
So I'm gonna ask you again
1960.
when we get on.
Okay. Yeah, it's true, but you know, it's true.
A moment in Black history.
Right.
K.T. Washington of Gary,
Is your
Indiana.
last name
She
Stalling
made
too?
history in May
Washington,
2010
Stalling,
when
Washington.
she was selected as valedictorian of Notre Dame University in Indiana.
Yes, she
While this
was.
news should have been plastered all over the mainstream news outlet,
And
it
you teach
was
8th grade?
not. But her
Sixth
achievements
grade.
was a
Sixth
first
grade.
for the 168-year-old
Probably in my spot.
university.
That's what I
As a
thought, sixth
Westside
grade
High School
English.
graduate, she
At,
carried
Kennedy
a
King?
4.0
At Kennedy King, when it
GPA,
was,
majoring in biology
Banner.
and minoring
Oh,
in
okay.
Catholic social teaching. Her work
Very
ethic
talented.
underscores
You
that she
remember
did
the
not get
Fennessys,
to this
Ira
point by
Fennessy,
herself as being influenced
Emily
by her
Fennessy,
mother,
those were my
Jean, and her
children.
father, Williams, who both are doctors. K.T.
Well, they are my
Washington,
children.
one
Yeah,
who lives
they're really my children. She
keeping
just had them
forward
for
and
me.
serving others as a terrific role model. This Black History Moment brought to you by the House of Elegant Floors, 1978 Grant Street, Gary, Indiana. Call Jonathan Portis, 219-290-7762.
Join us Monday through Friday on the 2 to 5 drive. I'm Dr. Jacob, the Prime Minister of the Blues.
And I'm Latrice.
Oh, and come join us for some fun. Oh, just laugh the good news and information. You know what I mean, Trees?
Absolutely. Give us a call at 219-885-1371.
They didn't hear you. Tell them again.
You need to move over a little bit further.
They want to see me?
Okay.
On WLTH, AM 1370, 92.7 FM.
Yeah, now we have your whole body.
Ooh, wee. Filling up the screen.
30 seconds. You have a call.
Yeah. Hey, Facebook. Oh, this is fun.
Seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back to Issues and Answers. This is Dr. Melva Mosley. I'm here with the Stalling family, and they're talking about the business experience they had. We now have a caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, caller.
We can't hear you.
Hello, I apologize. I didn't hear you call me in. But I see and hear that you guys are honoring my grandfather, Doc Stalling. I just wanted to share 2 quick special memories. One, in regards to the gas station on Fifth Avenue. I remember growing up and the back to school parades were on Fifth Avenue. I remember the gas station being decorated and Blissy cookies being passed out. I also remember my grandfather taking his wife, my late grandmother Ida Mae Stalling, and us, his grandchildren, to Red Lobster in his nice Cadillac after Sunday services. So I wanted to call in and say, yes,
That's
my
Emily.
grandfather is Black history. And this is his granddaughter, Emily. So
Hey,
thank you.
Emmy.
Hey, Emily.
Thank you for calling and making Auntie cry.
Wow, I had forgotten about those parades. Yes.
She called all the way from Texas.
Oh, okay. We welcome her call. And Auntie is crying.
Well, on that note, listen, you guys,
I have another question.
okay, and then we can wrap that, we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
So,
I want to talk to Stalling Washington, the 8th grade teacher. You have a book out and it's Never Too Young. How is that book being used in your 8th grade class?
Okay, Never Too Young, my Grenada, Mississippi story. Actually, in my 6th grade class, especially, I just don't wait till around February to introduce excerpts of that book because, like I said, after each chapter, there's either some science, some math, how to manage money, how to report abuse, because all of that intertwines with segregation and integration. So I will pull exercises out of it. But what I don't do is make a big deal that I'm the author. It's not my quest to be the star in the class. It's but if I see a student that has a special talent for writing, or I'll go in more depth with that particular student, then I'll say, well, I'm a writer and this is what I do to get to my ideas and give them more details on how to write a book at that point, at their age.
Do you have any book writers in your class?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And miraculously, they're males. They can just send you into another world. Sometimes I'll key in what they've written to see if they AI'd something, but it would be actually their writing. So.
Well, they should do well on that essay part of the I-STEP test.
And that I learned. We currently, right now, they're writing a paper on what is freedom to me. They're writing an essay. That's their homework tonight.
Okay. I hope parents heard that.
Yes. Or Google, go in that Google Classroom.
Okay. We're going to wrap up, and everybody can have a statement to conclude this section.
We'll start from the oldest again.
Thank you for the opportunity to share my dad's history. One thing I can take away from my dad is that he taught me just to persevere and love one another and keep moving forward. And he always said that you learning something. It might not be what you think you should be learning, but you are learning something.
Ken Stallings, ditto to what Dave was said, and also that First of all, I want to thank Dr. Mosley for having us on your program. And to your engineer, also thank him. And to Dr. Marion Williams. Dr. Marion Williams and I served on the school board together and for 4 years. And I learned so much from him, and I'm just, I owe a lot to him. But just to round it up and give you my last comments is that I thank God for my father. He's still here. He still is my advisor. You know, he still continues to be that support that we need. That's why you see us in worship service on Sunday, because he's a complete package. He will tell you what you need to know. He will show you the way in which you should go. And he will make sure that you follow that way, or he will pull your coattail. He's 93, but he still has his way of letting you know he's not pleased about something. So I just thank God for him, and I just thank God that he has brought us this far and taught us a whole lot. And to his children and his grandchildren, we just thank you all for supporting Dad.
Okay, this is Aulette, and I just want to tell my dad that I love him from the bottom of my heart, and I want to thank him for not only the entrepreneur spirit that he instilled in me, but I want to let him know that I appreciate his wisdom that he continues to give.
Dr. Mosley says she'll take it off.
Chelsea?
Okay, please.
We have a caller.
We have a caller.
Hey, good evening. How you doing?
Hey.
Okay, why you all sit there and brought up the word essay? And you knew I was going to call that you brought the word essay. You know, I got to harass you just for a hot second.
Why you gotta do that?
First of all, how many pages is that essay going to be?
Well, that essay is just going to be a 1 page. It's a gradual release. Next week it'll be 2. They're 6th graders. They're 11 years old. They're learning the components of a paper.
I love you all, but look, this is I don't care if it's 1 page. You all still have, they're going to have a topic, a main idea, a supporting document, and a conclusion in that 1 page, right?
Yeah.
Yes. In every paragraph.
You know I love you all.
All right.
We love you too.
That's good. All right. Everybody.
Thank you.
And that's a great way to close out the program, because that's what Gary is. We can't really go anywhere without, knowing somebody knowing our family. And that brings me to my closing remark about another one of Daddy's nuggets of wisdom: a good name. To have a good name is worth more than any amount of money you could ever come across, because your name will bring you into places and spaces, command respect, and live on after you. You see where my niece called in, and now Doc now has his very first great-grandchild, whom he was able to meet a couple of weekends ago, and just to see him hold her and look Chloe in the eyes and just say, this legacy of greatness will live on. Stallings forever. Thank you, Daddy. We love you.
I'd like to thank you for treating us with your family history, and it's a blessing to have you together. I enjoyed the connection that you have extended to your family and sisters and your father. It's wonderful.
Yes.
And Chelsea, tell us, how are you going to use your film that you've taken in?
I am going to take this video, I'm going to upload it to YouTube, and I'm going to share it with my 40,000 followers, and I'm going to encourage my friends and family to do the same, particularly family members, because we need to know our history or else we are doomed to repeat it.
That's great Black history wisdom. So be blessed and come back again.
We will.
Thank you. We will. All right.
Good job. Thanks for watching, everybody.